Hi, third graders. In math, we've been working with finding 10,000 more or 10,000 less than a given number. So that's our math focus for today is I can find 10,000 more or 10,000 less than a given number. Now, from everything all the work that I've been looking at that you guys have been submitting, it seems like everybody is doing a really fantastic job. But there is one really tricky thing, the small part of the lesson of finding 10,000 more or 10,000 less that I do want to go over. So first, let's just look at these problems that I have written here. It says find 100 less than. So what I did is to make it a little bit easier, especially when you get into larger numbers, it's good to underline the place value that you know you're working with. So for number one here, I have 876, and I want to find 100 less than that. Well, all I know, I know a lot more than just this one thing, but 876, if I want to find 100 less than 876, I know that I can just take that 8 in the hundreds place, and I can change it to a 7, and all the rest of the digits are going to stay the same. So 876, 100 less would be 776. And the same thing with 329. So I have 329, and I know I want to find 100 less. So I underline the 100 place value for 3, and I know that 3 is going to turn into a 2. So I have 229. So those are pretty easy, and we know how to do those things. So next, this is when things get a little more tricky, is when we have a number that's either a 9 or a 0, and the place value we need to find 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 more or less. So I have this number here, I have 1,052, and I underlined the hundreds place because we need to find 100 less. But this is tricky because I say to myself, I have a 0, how am I going to find 100 less? So I wrote this rule out here. I said when you can't find one less than a given number, that number needs to turn into a 9, and any numbers to the place value of the left of the place value go down by 1. So instead of a 1,052, I would have that 0 needs to turn into a 9. So I know I have a 9 right there. Then I know that 52 would stay the same because that's not the same place value. But then it says any numbers to the place value of the left of the place value go down by 1. So I had a 1 right here. That's just going to turn into a 0. So 100 less than 1,052 simply turns into 952 because you want to think about it as subtracting. You want to think about it as subtracting 100 from that number. I'm sorry, we've got a little distracting things going on at our house. Okay, so let's try this again with 11,099. So I know right here that I'm underlined I want to find 100 less. So I underlined the hundreds place value. And I know that then that needs to turn into a 9. And then the 2 place values to the right of it also turn into a 9. But I still have the 11,000 there to take care of. So the number to the place value of the left of the place value, it's going to go down by 1. So instead of a 1 in that thousands place value, it goes to a 0. And then I need to make sure I have that 1, sorry about that, right there. So 11,099 minus 100 equals 10,099. So this is a good rule to remember because for a lot of you have difficulty when that place value you're changing is a 0 or a 9. So let's try it again when we find 1,000 more than. Like I said, for the first few, it's pretty easy. So we're looking at 8,932. If we want to find 1,000 more, I underline that 1,000 place value. The 8 turns into a 9. And we have 9,932 stays the same. So all the place values after that, after the right of the number we're changing, are going to stay the same. Same thing here. We have 12,492. Well, I know that right here I have the 1. That 2 is going to change into a 3. It's going to go up by 1 in the thousands place value. And 492. So our new number is 13,492. But what do I do when this number is a 9 and I want to find 1,000 more than that. So I wrote this rule right here. When you can't find one more than a given number, because that 9, we can't change it into a 10, the number needs to turn into a 0, and you need to add one more digit to the left, one more to the digit, one more to the digit to the left. So instead of a 9 in that thousands place, it becomes a 0. Now I need to make sure I need to add a 1 in the digit to the left, and then next I have 101. Those digits stay the same. So let's try it again with number 4. I have a 9 in the thousands place where I want to find 1,000 more. So that thousands place is going to become a 0, and I need to add one more in that digit right here to the digit in the 10,000s place, so that's going to become a 2. Then the rest of the digits are going to stay the same. We have right there. So 19,202 becomes 20,202. So you have to remember what you're really dealing with is if you can't go up or down in the place value, the next place value, the next greater place value is the one that's affected, the one to the left. And that's one of the biggest tricks that you need to find when you're trying to find 10,000 more or 10,000 less than a given number. Have a great day, third graders.